Welcome back to another Toyota 3.4 swap video. As you guys all know, we're doing a 3.4 swap on the 94 Yoda. I just got my cylinder head back from the machine shop. I sent them in Monday and they were finished Wednesday, and then I picked it up today, which is Thursday. Everything checked out good, pressure checked good, no cracks or anything like that. All the valves were good except for these right here and these two intake right here. They were leaking just a little bit. I think that's from all the carbon buildup, so I declined that work from them, so I just had them resurface it. Labor for both of these head, degrease, pressure check, resurface was $420, which is a pretty good price. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the valve job myself because we're gonna put new valve stems anyway. So right now I'm getting ready to take it off and start doing it one by one. I'm just gonna do one head first, take out the valve stem, lap it, clean it, and then install them back in, and then after that we'll go ahead and move to the next head. So take little steps. These is very meticulous work. I'm probably not going to film myself doing this because this takes so much meticulous work, taking each of them out one by one, and you can see lots of carbon buildup. We're going to clean that carbon buildup, so you have to use a brass wire brush wheel. So that's what we're using to clean all the carbon buildup. And just by looking inside of it, you can see there's lots of carbon. But they did a really good job degreasing it. Looks really clean. Makes it such more easy to install now. This is the driver's side, and this is the passenger side. First thing we're doing, we're putting some wood blocks and then putting some towels and setting it on it so that we can get our tool into it. This is a valve stem move, and we have room to get between the valve and pop the valves out. And then also we're gonna have a box right here, and this box is exactly how it is right now. Exhaust side, front, rear, intake. And when we take these out, we're gonna put them exactly how it is so we don't confuse it. All right, so that's what we're doing here. Keep it really organized. Don't just pop these valves out and throw them everywhere and later on you mix this one with this one, because it does matter. It's all meticulous work. So that's my setup right here. I'm gonna show you guys how I do this real quick. So this is just a tool. This goes on the bottom of the valve, and this goes on top, and then this right here just presses the valve spring, and then you can pop those little two things. And just be very careful. Try not to damage the, try not to get the thing on the head surface. And it's always nice to have a magnet to pick those things out. The little stoppers or whatever they call it. And don't lose these guys too. So I have a little magnet tray right here that I throw them into it. These little things here, you can mix them up, it doesn't matter. But the spring and itself right there, you want to keep them together. So the spring comes out, pretty dirty too, but it just needs a little quick wipe down. And then the valve just pops out like that. Woo, it is dirty, man. It's so much carbon deposit. Shoot, you guys see that? So this was the one that was leaking, so we gotta keep that in mind. Exhaust right here. These are the exhaust ones, so I'm gonna take out all the exhaust one first, and then after that we'll move on. So I like to keep them together. I put them inside like that, and then I shove them into the little box right here. You got a 12 on each side, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 12. So take your time. We got all the valves out, organized as well. Next thing we're gonna remove is the valve stem. These right here are the valve stem. This is what seals the oil from not seeking from here into the cylinder head. So these valve stems are actually in pretty bad shape as well. Some of them are like completely hard and just doesn't look like they're in properly. So it's always good to replace your valve seal. Never want to skip out on that. And they're super cheap too, so don't do all this work and not do your valve seal. And they are different. The intake and the exhaust, they are different, so make sure you're aware of that. One has a little cup style and one's more like flush. So once I pop these out, I'll show you guys. But everything looks pretty good. The exhaust is always going to be the most dirtiest. So you can see the exhaust, lots of grudge in there. Whereas the intake side is nice and clean. So we're going to clean as much as we can. Yep. Pretty dirty. I got all the valves wire brush. They're all nice and clean now. And these were the exhausts, and they were super dirty. I'll go ahead and post some before and after photos, but yeah, they're super nice right now. Intake wasn't super dirty, but it definitely needs a little bit of wire brush. So intake's all nice and clean. So everything's all nice and clean. I just have to clean the valve hose on the head now and do some lapping. So lapping is basically where you take this valve on the bottom and you basically make it so that the mating surface are made to fit each other. And that right there itself, it takes another long time. I think I spent about 30 minutes just cleaning all of these right here. Didn't time myself, but then the next thing we have to do is just clean these the valve hose on the bottom of the head. And I have to go buy a wire brush. I have to go buy a smaller wire brush that can get the inside of it because it's super dirty. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for the night. Got some dad duties to do. But once we get that done, then we have to do everything once and more again on the other cylinder head. So yeah, valve job takes a lot of time. I didn't ask the head machine. I didn't ask them how much they charge if they would have went ahead and did the valves, the whole valve things. And I think if they would have done it, I think I'm pretty sure it's like at least $400 to $500 extra. Because the last time when I had my Land Cruisers done and I asked them, I think it was about $400 or $500 extra for them to do all the valves and stuff like this, like exactly what I'm doing. So it does take a lot of time. It's labor intensive or just labor consuming. If the shop charges like $100 or $200, honestly, I would have just let them done it. But I think it's about $400 or $500 extra. So I might as well just do it myself, take my time doing it. And like I say, it is fun. It just takes a lot of time. So when you're doing this stuff, do it when you have free time. Don't do it and try to rush everything. Just do this. And then if you feel like you have to go do something else, just stop, pause it, and come back the next day or the next hour. But that's it for tonight. I'll keep you guys posted once I get it going. And I still have to clean all the rest of the 3/4 parts. Intake manifolds, I haven't degreased that yet. So once I'm done with the head, I think I'm going to go and get the head. Well, I can't install the head yet because I haven't cleaned the block. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the heads all done and then put them aside, clean the block, degrease it, put the oil pan, do the dipstick mob, front main seal, and then after that we can go ahead and clean the head hose, the head bolts hose, and then get the block ready for the heads. And then once that's done, then I can go ahead and start degreasing all these parts. But it's gonna be about another week or so. I'm still waiting for my crossover and my wire harness. I have John that's doing that, so I haven't asked him what his time is, but I'm not in a super rush. I want to take my time doing this right because this is gonna be my forever truck. So fun stuff. Keep you guys posted.